It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hey guys, it's Aaron back with another review for you. Today is day 6 of my Halloween month, and today I'm going to be talking about the film The Green Inferno. So I've got my notes, let's dive right in. So, The Green Inferno, released September 25th of 2015, directed by Eli Roth, starring, and I'm going to apologize right now for the name pronunciation, I might mess a lot of these up. Lorenzo Izzo, Ariel Levy, Daryl Sabara, Kirby Bliss Blanton, Sky Ferreira, Magda Apanowicz, Nicolas Martinez, Aaron Burns, Ignacia Alamond, Ramon Lau, and Richard Berge. Um, the film plot basically is a group of activists go into the rainforest um, to protect it. I'm sorry, against a logging company that wants to go in and demolish everything. And as they're doing it in the protest, they get kidnapped by the local tribe that resides in the forest. So, couple production notes. The budget was actually only $5 million, and it shows, but I don't mean that in a bad way. It really, you can. When I learned that, I was like, "Holy crap! Only $5 million," which in today's Hollywood, especially, is unheard of. I mean, that's The Room probably had more money than that. But so right off the bat, like I said, that is a telltale sign of how good this film is in so many ways, because $5 million isn't much money. Like I said, it's very. I mean, that you got to think. A budget goes into everything you have to film, and then props, sets, paying the actors, and everybody else. So $5 million. I mean, that's a steal right there. And actually, it didn't make much, but it did make its money back. It made $12.9 million back. So not great, but it did make its money back. So you know. But with that being said, talking more into the film, these you can tell if you've seen the film Cannibal Holocaust, which is considered one of the most controversial films of all time. It was released back in 1980, I think. I have seen it, and the I can definitely see why back then it was controversial, and there's still moments that are controversial to this day because there are real animal killings in the film. But it didn't really shock me that much. The Green Inferno did. It was very. My stomach was in knots, and I don't remember that so much from the first one. But I figured, well, it's online, and I'll watch it again. And like, okay, it bothered me, man. It really did. So there's they get kidnapped, like I said, and it's a local tribe that lives there, and they the Mamamoto, maybe? Correct? I might be wrong on that one. But it's something along those lines, Yamamoto, and they're a native tribe, like I said, and they paint their bodies red. I think. Oh my god, now that I said this, I might be wrong. Um, to me, it looked like paint. I'm sorry if it's not, and that's the skin color. I am not trying to be offensive. That's just, you know. But yeah, kind of said that one. But anyway, so they get kidnapped by this crew by this tribe and get held prisoner, and come to find out that the tribe that has kidnapped them is cannibalistic. So they are there for dinner, basically, to become dinner. And they figured out pretty fast. Unfortunately, they get kidnapped, and they kill one of the guys like right away. And they put two and two together as far as why they're there. Well, the the film, it's about what I just said, and I think that we're supposed to look at these people as heroes, even though you find out some things, of course, that you might change your mind on. But I'm watching the film, and the only one that I really liked was I can't remember which one his name was, but the only one that I really liked, as far as actually like Daryl Sabara did a good job acting wise, but the only person I actually liked that I was like, okay, I hope that they live, was her, the dude that invited her. So at the beginning, they were doing this protest, and she went out and was trying to get more involved in all that. And the guy that actually was like, "Hey, we're doing this," I liked him. Everybody else in the film is either unforgettable and not written in depth that much, which I mean, in some cases is fine, but or they are one dimensional and pretty much terrible. So, like I said, that's really the only people I like. Um, but with that being said, the one thing I will give him credit for, I don't personally like him except for the one guy, but whether you like him or not at the end of the film, you got to admire the dedication that they really did travel, because a lot of these protesters sometimes will, they'll complain and whatever it is about what they're trying to do, but they won't really put in the work. So, I mean, they really went to the rainforest. So you give them, no matter what, you got to give them that. Their methods weren't good. What they were doing wasn't good, but the like I said, you got to give them credit at least going, I guess. But there was I was watching, so when the plane crash happens, I have panic attacks, and I really thought I was going to have one. I was so nervous and concerned as to what was happening, and I was just very like edge of my seat. And like I said, I've seen this before, but I don't remember it being this, whatever. And I talked to Jamie about it, and she's like, well, yeah, we liked it. And I was like, okay, I believe you. I just don't remember it being this um, uh, intense. But, it's so yeah, so they get all, there was one death, and it was, they're all horrific the way they're dying and all that, but there was this one death specifically. So as terrible as this is, I try to, in films like this especially, I try to find like comforting. Like there was this one part where there's little piglets running around, and I'm, a huge animal lover, so I'm like, oh, little piglets. But there was this one moment, and as gruesome as it was, they when they're, you see some of the tribeswomen cutting up the bodies to prepare to eat, and they didn't, you couldn't tell what they were saying. They didn't have subtitles, but you could tell that these two women, or maybe even three, were just cooking in the kitchen, well, in the makeshift kitchen that they have, and just talking as if you would walk in and see three women or three men or whoever, you know what I mean? It was just like, it's how it is when you're cooking food. You just come in and everyone's just talking. So it's like, this juxtaposition is, it's like, okay, so yeah, they're just cooking like normal, and for them it really is just like dinner, but for us it's like, oh my god, they're killing and eating humans. So it was, I like little touches like that, because I think those little things kind of fell under the radar, as far as like how horrific it is, because it is, but it's just kind of mixed with this like comedy almost, that it's almost off-putting. You don't really, it's like, it's horrible, but you don't view it as horrible just for that brief second, because it's like, as bad as this is, it is still kind of funny to see, like I said, that juxtaposition there. So that's just my opinion. You may watch this or may have seen it and thought you're an idiot because this is all just horrific and all that, and you wouldn't be wrong. I mean, it is. But so Spy Kids, sorry, spoilers. Daryl Sabata, when he gets eaten alive, that was horrific. I wrote down the word horrific, because he, is screaming the whole time, and of course all the people that he came with and that are there are uh right, not that far away in their own prisoner and in their own cages, and they're just hearing their friend get mutilated by these cannibals, and it's horrible. But it that's, like I said, I mean, I don't, to an extent, it's hard with these things, because you know I'm not knowledged enough on the struggles of how people are represented in film and all that, because I don't have those struggles. Um, so I don't think that this was overly insensitive to the people that it represented. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to ever get too far into these. It's just this specific one. I know that they're. I've listened to podcasts and watched videos how they're. It's kind of taboo to have um, people of color, especially indigenous people as well, or something similar, that are portrayed in the tribal sense, and they always come across as savages. Like I said, I'm not gonna go much further than that. I don't know. I didn't read anything about backlash or anything, but it every time that there are survival films of this nature where there's like a plane crash and then they end up in the Amazon somewhere and all that, the people that come across them, or they run across, always do tend to kidnap and cannibalize them. So it does seem a little, but I digress. That's, like I said, I don't know. I can't speak much further than that. That's just an opinion I have. With that being said, though, in a real life scenario, this would be terrifying. I can't imagine. I mean, no matter if this happened and you got abducted by Smurfs, it would be horrible to imagine that, oh my god, I'm going to be dinner soon because of this group of whatever it may be, um, coming to get me. This just happened to be a film about humans. There's all kinds of things that, there's movies out there that where they're either creatures or it's one creature being, I mean, like the whole film of the whole plot of Predator, is, people are in the jungle and being hunted by something that they can't see. So I don't think it's, specific. I don't think that there was anything malintent when it comes to this film specifically. That's where I'll leave it as far as my, you know, is it PC or whatever. I just, like I said, anyway. But as far as the film, yes, as far as just watching it from beginning to end, the film is terrifying. Like I said, I've seen it. This was the second time that I watched it, and I don't even remember. I remembered the more of the controversy surrounding it as opposed to the actual film, because I remember when it came out, people were going like acting like this was the worst. Oh my gosh, you're gonna throw up and blah blah blah. And mind you, this is coming from somebody that has seen you know all three of the Human Centipede films and a Serbian film, and so I mean I've seen the worst of the worst. And so back then I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see. And then when I watched it, I was like, I like I said, I don't remember liking it all that well. But then when I watched it this time, for some reason, something just, like I said, it just kind of, oh, okay, this is actually terrifying. And it is. I was genuinely unnerved by this film a couple of times, and that is, I think, the great sign of the sign of a great horror film. Which, although I enjoy his films from time to time, I don't think Eli Roth is that scary. At least not what I've seen. And this, may be the beginning, or it may be I just haven't seen enough of his films or whatnot. But the Hostel movies don't scare me. As far as what they are, yes, they do. But as far as what were presented on the screen, they don't bother me at all. And this film did. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm seeing Eli Roth. Granted, this was 6 years ago at this point, 7 years ago, but I'm now seeing what I think Eli Roth coming into his own. And it wasn't campy. It wasn't anything. It was a genuine, I thought, horror film. And it was, like I said, it was really unnerving, and the performances were great. The It didn't rely on jump scares and stuff, which, I mean, like I've said before, and I'll say again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with, but I think if it's jump scare heavy, I'm a sucker for them because of my anxiety. But I don't think that I'm genuinely scared by what I'm seeing. It's just more of a, oh, so it's nice to see a horror film, especially a current horror film, um, uh, do something that does genuinely unnerve you, that does not specifically have to be motivated by a jump scare. And I like that. And I liked that with this film. And like I said, I liked, you know, seeing this from Eli Roth because I've seen his films and I just talked about it. But so I was happy. I was overall I was happy with the film. I definitely recommend it. Where did I write down you can watch it? Did I write that down? No, because I'm a fool. But you can find it online. I, for the life of me, cannot remember which service I watched it on last night. Isn't that terrible? I think it's Tubi, but don't quote me on that. But oh, one last thing I wanted to say about the film. When they first, I mentioned this earlier, but when they first come into where the tribe lives, you see very clear Cannibal Holocaust references because in the Cannibal Holocaust film, spoilers, there are times when you'll look around and I think one of the first things they see in the film, I've only watched it once, but the first thing they see in the film as far as horrific things is actually somebody, like the spikes coming through their mouth, they've been impaled, and that also happens in the Green Inferno. So I don't think Eli Roth was ever trying to hide that he was heavily influenced by Cannibal Holocaust, but it's just little things like that that make you think about it. But like I said, good film. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. Try to find it. I know that, like I said, I think it was Tubi where I just watched it on. But, and like I said, guys, that's free. But that was day 6 of Horror Month, guys. So day 7 will be here soon. And we'll see what you guys are thinking so far. I hope you guys are having a great Halloween month so far. I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I will be putting more out. I've got a whole bunch planned for the rest of the month and even further on. So, I've got stuff going. And we'll see you then, guys. See you next time.